An extraordinary house is taking shape on the shores of an ancient and mysterious volcanic crater lake in Western Victoria. The building pays homage to the skills of ancient craftsmen, so faithfully in fact that scarcely a nail has been used in its construction. The massive timber frame, cut from roadside logs that were destined to become wood chips, is held together by wooden pegs. That the house is in harmony with the environment is hardly surprising, as its owner is a world-renowned musical instrument maker whose life dovetails neatly with wood.
Many of us dream of living in a magnificent house in an idyllic setting.
I've got the workshop built here already, and that's just it's a wonderful environment to work in here on the lake. And the house is going to complement that, nestle beside it.
When Steve Gilchrist conceived the idea of his ideal residence, its builder had to meet some very strict and specific criteria.
Well, you have to be a little bit crazy and put your hand up to design and want to do this to begin, and then find somebody who plays fiddle.
Luckily, his good friend Nick Deere filled those requirements perfectly. And so, over almost 2 years, a rather extraordinary house has arisen on an allotment overlooking spectacular Lake Narpit, a mysterious volcanic crater lake near Camperdown in southwest Victoria. On most days, sweet music wafts over the building site. It's hardly surprising, because Nick Deere and his son Lockie are amongst Australia's best-known bluegrass musicians. And amongst ardent fans of the mandolin, the name Steve Gilchrist is revered.
He's one of the best mandolin makers in the world, and he's a good friend of ours, and we play a lot of fiddle tunes and mandolin with him, and a love of timber as well, you know, because he's just very passionate about timber as well. So I think he just wants to be ensconced in it.
Well, I've always been interested in timber, trees and timber. I grew up sort of living in trees almost on a river, and always made instruments. That's all I do for a living, all I've ever done. The music, it was the main inspiration, I suppose, for the instrument making, which took me to America a lot. And when I was over there, I was always fascinated in the old buildings, the old timber buildings and the old barns. And this is the same traditional construction that old buildings have been done for hundreds and hundreds of years. It seemed to me I've always wanted to live in and work in a building like that.
Remarkably, there is scarcely one nail in this most authentic of old-style houses.
There's no normal fixings at all. Everything's held together with these timber pegs, which my wife made, Janet. And
thank you, Janet.
It's not actually the tightness of the mortise, it's the pressure that exerted on it by the peg.
The builders likewise have been true to tradition. There has been barely the growl of a power tool.
Why go with that particular style?
Well, that's what we keep asking, but it's a traditional thing, I suppose, and when you see the 8x8s and all these huge pieces of timber come together, it's quite an amazing sensation. More than a building, it's a piece of art, I suppose.
For Steve Gilchrist, it's a case of life mirroring art.
The qualities of timber are just amazing, and they're not always fully known or understood engineering-wise. The tenacity of timber and the qualities of timber as it ages and matures. An instrument maker's known that for hundreds and hundreds of years, and to have the instrument as a house, as a living thing, is also really inspiring for me, because the frame will be completely visible inside the house. All the pegs, all the draw pegs that hold all the mortise and tenon joints together, everything will be sort of visible and clad from the outside. So the quality of timber will be in the living space all the time, which is always in my workspace as well.
Always been interested in this style of building. I grew up in Somerset where a lot of it all started, I suppose, and been interested in shakers, and Steve's been over in America a lot, researching old buildings.
It's easier just to draw it up on the computer like I did, to design it. It's another thing to put it into 3D and bring it. So it's just a tenacious sort of effort from Nick's part. It's been fantastic to work with him, the whole thing.
Well, it's a piece of joinery, you know, we make furniture and do building, so it's just another challenge, I suppose.
This style of construction is also big on being environmentally friendly. The house will be highly energy efficient. Local stone will ensure great insulation.
I'm using the local bluestone, which is quarried around here. In the Western District is a huge lava plain, so basalt plain, so just under your feet there's any amount of stone you could ever want. So that'll be used about from metre high all the way around. It's going to be the stone wall. And all the cladding is going to be the weatherboards.
There is certainly a lot of timber involved. The main beams are 20 centimetres by 20 centimetres. That's 8 by 8 inches in the old language. And it all comes from trees salvaged from country roadsides and farms, trees considered too old and dangerous.
They were all trees that were destined probably to be burnt or not even pulped or anything, so we've used a resource that would have been wasted and turned it into a structure that will hopefully be around for a very, very long time. 7.8. 22 inches wide, so there's definitely two there.
Some of the trees were close to a century old, so the grain of the timber is especially stable, though it still needed to be carefully seasoned.
It's just amazing what you can get out of a tree and all the usable bits.
It's the same with mandolin making. From one exceptional American maple tree grown on a steep hillside, Steve Gilchrist has made about 180 instruments.
And at the moment I'm just tuning the plates, the tops and backs. The same as violins have always been made, the tops and backs are carved from a solid block of spruce and maple for the backs. And then once all the thicknesses are right, they're finally tuned and graduated to a frequency, a musical frequency, same as the way violins are made. You can't ever add wood, you can't go up in frequency, you can only go down in frequency by removing wood. So it's just a careful refining process of tuning by removing wood. And at the moment I'm just doing the final tuning of it by removing timber from the braces.
Steve Gilchrist's career sprang from repairing instruments and a passion for the music. Now he has customers all around the world, though the United States bluegrass market is his mainstay. This month he's conducting a workshop on mandolin making in Italy.
It seems just a crazy world that somebody from Australia, a mandolin maker, will be invited to Italy to teach mandolin, which is traditionally the home of the mandolin. So it's very exciting.
He's personally escorting 13 glimmering new mandolins and one custom-made guitar to their new overseas owners.
How many mandolins is this going to cost? It might be a 25 mandolin house. So yeah, just keep pumping them out and enjoy that process as well as keep focusing on getting this done. I'm really looking forward to living out here on the lake and a very nice environment. And there's great soil out here for growing things and living in a place that we know how it's been put together and put together with care and some traditional thought about the whole thing. It's been a fun thing to do so far. Hopefully it'll continue and finish it off soon. And then hopefully have some house concerts in here and christen the place with some music. To me, it's all a part of the whole lifestyle, the music and the tradition of quality, sort of well-built things that last, and that's really the heart of what this is all about, I think. I mean, I'm not going to be around for hundreds of years, but this hopefully will be.